most of the civilization arose along wetlands. So wetlands and rivers are like mother. Wetlands are not only important for human civilization, but when you look at the survival of any river, wetlands are very, very important. We always see wetland as nursery for river. You may ask, how do you define it?
Yeah.
When you look at a river, during if you have all along there are many wetlands along the river, then during flood, those wetlands get filled up. Not only water, but it brings a lot of fishes, plants, other purposes. Even though water recedes, water stays for a longer period of time, many things grow. When next year flood comes, every organism goes to main water channel, and that is the role of a nursery.
Oh, nice.
And therefore, if you lose wetlands, means you are losing life. And when you look at this scenario, we started talking about development. And by going forward with development, we have defined development in a way which suggests that you kill nature and develop yourself. I don't know what is the meaning of it, but nature has given many suggestions and cautions when you look at Jammu and Kashmir. Recently we had suffered serious flood. The Lal Chowk of Jammu and Kashmir, which is supposed to be our head of the country, was flooded. Why? Because during monsoon, when a lot of water came, there was no place to sustain and stop that water. And wetlands are such an important structure which not only mitigate flood but decreases the velocity of water. And if you don't have wetland, then I think in longer period of time, sustaining life, human life, will be very, very difficult.
Very beautifully said. So I just want to ask you you can talk about the jewels which are already on the verge of extinction. If you can explain the importance of places like Basai or Dadri wetlands. And
Again, development takes serious toll without understanding that just 2 weeks ago, Delhi has suffered with a cover which we call it a smoke. Everybody was suffering, but now you see, in the name of development, Basai is being killed. You see now many structures, many things are being done. A new trend I have seen emerged it out, where you drain wetland, do agricultural practices, or many times even go for many infrastructure development. Delhi is one of the very important example when you see, even right in the Yamuna floodplain, the places which were supposed to be beautiful wetland along the river, giving life to the river, has been utilized differently. We have created a small embankment, and with support of law, we have not only gone for religious structure, but we have created a sports complex. What we are doing? Are we trying to kill ourselves? Many times I feel that are we fighting a losing battle? But still, we see that we are probably supporting someone who never complains about their suffering, because wetland never complains about their suffering. It sustains life. You have seen wetland in Yamuna City Park. The number of birds, the fishes, the plants, and above all, in the surrounding area, if you lose this precious functional wetland, then availability of water would be so scarce, the survival of human being won't be possible.
okay, so you have been instrumental in creating Yamuna Biodiversity Park literally from nothing. What have been your experiences about nature responding to the human efforts? Well, does nature, helps itself to regenerate?
It bounces back. It requires little support. I tell you, nature requires little support. But places like Yamuna City Park, where we were standing, it was a completely barren area. It was a salt pan, in fact. The land was degraded completely. It has no nutrient. It has high level of pH. Growing anything was very, very difficult here. So plenty of scientific intervention required. And when we started, it was difficult to grow even single blade of grasses here due to high pH. And therefore we decided that we need to do some sort of landscaping, and for which we had requirement of huge amount of soil. But if you bring soil from somewhere else, then you are going to create an ecological disaster. Therefore, we thought of creating wetland within this system. Then who will tell you which is the site where you create wetland? So we surveyed the area and we found that land itself showing indication that this was the wetland once upon a time, which has been filled up or silted. There were phragmites and typha. If you see these grasses, they are phragmites. And we had typha, which suggested that subsoil aquifer is very high. We dressed the area and we got subsoil aquifer. Now this narrow shallow wetland of more than 1.5 kilometers sustains so many life. When you come in summer, we have restored a beautiful forest community that is tamarisk forest, phragmites forest community. Once upon a time, Yamuna had such community all along, which we have lost over a period of time. Now the moment we revive these forest communities, now every year we have more than 3,000 nests of black crown nightheron, darter, cormorants, herons. So we have created such a huge heronry, probably first of its kind in Delhi. First of its kind in Delhi, and especially when you look at the black crown nightheron, which is highly, sensitive bird. And if you won't give proper habitat, it won't come. But now they are coming every year.
And sir, you talk about hope, like the nature always needs requires support and all that. Would you like to tell us about what is the future of places like? Do you feel there is hope for other wetlands around North India?
Yes, because I am very optimistic, and being a human being, you need to be optimistic. The only one point which I want to convey through your movie, that every individual should understand that we are not the supreme primates on the earth, and we cannot dictate our terms to the nature, otherwise nature won't allow us to survive. When you look at the survival of wetland and restoration of wetland, which is the easiest task among restoration agents, little intervention in wetland can bring large number of lives, which one cannot expect. But little intervention, systematic, scientific intervention is required. That's all. That's all. A honest scientific effort is needed to restore wetlands.
Wonderful, sir. Come on. Let me guys know. Very good.
Quality of life in this park. You have pristine water body, which is functional wetland ecosystem, where you see all sorts of life, and actually this is the hope, suggesting that if you support nature, probably you will get life coming back again. It's such a beautiful scene where you stand and see birds, many cormorants are sitting on tamarix plant. If you see, this is all restored tamarix clematis community all around. When you see carefully, far away you see water areas are blooming, which shows that this wetland is life. This wetland is life, and during monsoon, when you see MCD and NDMC used to say that waterlogged area brings malaria. Yes, if you have waterlogged area, it will certainly bring malaria. But if you have functional wetland ecosystem resembling to Yamuna Biodiversity Park, you need not to worry about malaria. When you look at wetland, where do you find any mosquito larvae on the water surface? Why? Because we have created wetland in a way, we have restored it in a way that dragonflies and demersal flies are breeding in plenty. And one of the stages of dragonfly, that is nymph, which stays for 6 months in water. And that nymph is a voracious feeder of mosquito larvae. If you have functional wetland ecosystem, then it not only gives you life, but it protects you from very virulent strain of malaria and other diseases.
We did some study on Delhi, and we realized the wetland birds are the maximum which have suffered. And there were, I think, some 63 species which have suffered. And it's only because the wetlands have gone, they were highly polluted. So most of the birds have disappeared from there. So when we started planning for this park, my first idea was that we should have at least large wetlands. And that's how these wetlands came into existence. So it was, basic idea was, by doing this, we try to restore all the avifauna which was known from this region. Not only avifauna, but wetland fauna which was known from this region should come back.